Hello everyone. Today we are going to discuss gout. While considering gout, it comes under third semester pathophysiology, Gujarat Technological University for B Pharmacy students. While considering gout in disorders related to the bones and the joints, specifically gout is a most common inflammatory disorder. It can be a type of inflammatory arthritis, and generally it is characterized by the high level of the uric acid in blood. This specific uric acid will be in forms of monosodium urate crystals, and these monosodium urate crystals will get deposited inside joints, and further it causes the chronic hyperuricemia. See the condition, that is hyperuricemia. This specific condition is like we can consider where exactly there will be an increased level of uric acid is seen in certain pathological conditions, and it can cause joint pain, and it will be sudden with severe repetitive episodes of the pain, tenderness, redness, warmth and the swelling. Actually, gut is a group of diseases where it includes inflammatory joint pain, next is the tenosynovitis, next is the bursitis, cellulitis and the nephrolithiasis. So as you can see here in diagram, it causes pain in cases of the joints between, especially in cases of the metatarsals, where there will be a swollen and the inflamed joint can be seen with the uric acid crystal deposition. What are the clinical appearances? While considering the appearances, first thing, that is the acute inflammatory arthritis. Next is the hyperuricemia due to the higher level of uric acid. Next is the uric acid nephrolithiasis. See, in cases of nephrolithiasis, it forms a stone, and it can again form stone in kidney also, right? Here in cases of involvement of the joints, especially it involves the metatarsophalangeal joints of the big toe, that is the foot, right? And again it will have a monoarticular nature, as we have discussed earlier during the rheumatoid arthritis. If it involves only one joint, it will be monoarticular. If it involves many joints and the many bones, then it can considered as polyarticular. But here in cases of gout, it is monoarticular, especially in cases of metatarsophalangeal joints, that comes under in foot or in feet. While considering the other locations of the urate crystal deposition, that is, we can consider the elbow, next is the knees, next is feet and the ear pinna, that is what is the helix of the ear. While considering the types, it can be divided into the primary gout and the secondary gout. According to the primary gout, actually it is an inborn error, that is while the birth, where we can see that the overproduction of uric acid, and see uric acid are the metabolic end products of the purine metabolism. Again, you may be knowing about the purine, pyrimidine, right? Adenine, thymine, guanosine, uracil. These are the parts of the DNA where we can see the amino acids, right? Or we can say that again purine and pyrimidine may have a certain other classifications also, where there are sub classification including certain amino acids. Here this is mostly related to the increased synthesis of the purine nucleotides. So in cases of primary gut, it involves the increased production of uric acid due to the increased production of purine metabolism or the products of the purines, that is purine nucleotides. Secondary gout, as name indicates, it is secondary, or it is the secondary hyperuricemia, and again it may be because of the other diseases which may be pertaining or the in continuous phase. Here it may involve, that is the increased synthesis or decreased excretion of uric acid. So here there are two possible, or the two possibilities, that is, one is it may happen that there will be an increased production of uric acid. Next, second condition, that it may have a normal metabolism or the normal production, but in many a condition it may be seen that it may not be excreted, and that may lead to have accumulation of uric acid in forms of monosodium urate crystals, in especially in joints. There are certain factors. Here it includes the disease, and these are all diseases includes the purine metabolism defects. Here we can consider Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, where we can see that there will be a partial or the complete deficiency of HGPRT enzyme, a kind of enzyme that we can call hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosol transferase. Remember this HGPRT enzyme, that is what full form, hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosol transferase. Next is the severe combined immunodeficiency diseases, that is SCID, severe combined immunodeficiency disease, like deficiency of adenosine deaminase. In many a condition we can see that the hyperactivity or the superactivity of phosphoribosol pyrophosphate synthetase activity, it can causes secondary gout. Other than this also, there are certain factors like cancer therapy due to the dehydration, lactic acidosis, starvation, diuretic therapy, renal failure, excessive purine intake, alcohol intake, and the carbohydrate ingestion, which can lead to have formation of the secondary gout. So here we can divide into two: primary gout, that is because of the increased production of uric acid, that is hyperuricemia, and the secondary, that hyperuricemia because of other pertaining or the continuous disease. There are other also certain forms of gout like asymptomatic hyperuricemia. Next is the acute gout. Next is the interval gout or chronic gout and the pseudo gout. So these are the conditions or the types of the gouts. Next is sign and symptoms. See, the symptoms can be defined according to the general as well as the rare symptom. In cases of general symptom, we can consider the joint pain, which occurs mostly at the night due to the low body temperature with the excruciating pain, warm, and the localized hyperemia. That hyperemia includes the increased blood flow to that specific or the specific area, and the most of the first attacks will be monoarticular involving only one joints, and it generally occurs in most probably more than 50% of cases. It will be in metatarsophalangeal joints, that is in foot. It may become polyarticular if we are not going to treat it. In cases, we can say certain other general symptoms, like we can say that joint may become red, it may become swollen, tender, and the what, as I mentioned earlier, that is the warmth. It can also be associated with the certain other diseases like kidney stone and the tenosynovitis. There are certain rare symptoms which includes the fatigue, high fever, leukocytosis, and the tachycardia. So these are the general sign and symptoms with rare sign and symptoms. While considering the diagnosis techniques, we can diagnose it with three different ways. First way, that is for that the joint fluids aspiration will be done. As you can see here in diagram, from that specific joint the synovial fluid will be collected, and it will be further underwent the microscopical analysis for the presence of monosodium urate crystals. So it is again a kind of non-invasive technique. Next is a blood test, where in cases of blood test, serum uric acid level will be find out. Here in cases of blood test, certain other parameters also can be checked with serum uric acid. Next is the X-ray. Even X-ray can show or exert the presence of monosodium urate crystals. With even many cases we can see that the bending of the joint or the next or the adjacent bone. So here again it may occur mostly more than 50% cases it involves metatarsophalangeal joints. So these are the some certain or the simple diagnosis techniques that can be applied in cases of hyperuricemia or the gout. While considering the pathogenesis, see, in cases of hyperuricemia, where the plasma urate level will be more than or above 6.8 milligram per deciliter, but in many cases it may not be sufficient for the development of gout. Second, the elevated uric acid that can result from the different two conditions. First one, that is the overproduction of uric acid, that is from the purine metabolism, and second, that is the reduced excretion of uric acid, or in many conditions it may associate these two conditions, that is increased production as well as the decreased excretion. In most cases we can see that the uric acid biosynthesis will be increased, and only the minority of the patients may have the overproduction because of the certain specific enzymes like HGPRT, that is hypoxanthine guanine phosphoribosylphosphoribosyl transferase. See, this enzyme is responsible behind the processing of the purine analogs. In these cases, purine metabolites, it cannot be salvaged, and are instead of salvaged, it will be degraded. It will be degraded into the uric acid, and further this uric acid will get forms, or it gets monosodium crystal of the urates. In cases where exactly we can see the complete absence of HGPRT, it can causes hyperuricemia. In many cases it may happen that it may be because of certain neurological manifestations or the conditions like Nash-Nean syndrome, which dominates the clinical picture, so it is classified as secondary gout. In cases of secondary gout, we can consider two parameters. One is increased production, next one that is the decreased excretion of the uric acid. In second case, that is decreased excretion, it is maybe because of impairment in excretion through the kidney or through the renal pelvis. So here in many cases where person is suffering from chronic renal diseases, they may suffer with the hyperuricemia, getting again more and more uric acid backflow into the urine, or it may get absorbed again back into the urine, and from after that again it will get absorbed back to the blood. In cases of inflammation, the gout, the inflammation will be triggered by the precipitation of the urate crystals in the joints, and these urate crystals may further stimulate the production of the cytokines, and these cytokines like interleukin 1 and the tumor necrosis factor alpha can causes further the gathering of the or the recruitment of the leukocytes. So here, as you can see here in diagram, hyperuricemia, where we can see more than 6.8 milligram per deciliter of uric acid forms the urate crystals, and it will get deposited into the joints. Now further it may undergo the phagocytosis by the macrophage phases. It causes to activate the inflammatory mediators, that is the pre-inflammatory mediators, or we can call inflammasome, which releases interleukin 1 and causes to secrete more chemokines and other involvement of cytokines or the recruitment of the cytokines. Here these three steps can release more and more leukotriene B4, that is LTB4, with prostaglandins as well as certain free radicals, which causes the tissue injury and the inflammation, as well as there will be presence of certain proteases in specific joint causing joint pain. Other than the role of phagocytosis, there will be a role of complement system where it involves the neutrophil chemotaxis. While considering the phagocytosis with neutrophils, generally the neutrophil may undergo breakdown, and the lysis of the neutrophil or the breakdown of the neutrophil can cause the release of the entire content of the neutrophils with releasing certain lysosomal enzymes, and these lysosomal enzymes can cause the destruction of the normal healthy tissues into their surroundings, can cause tissue injury and the inflammation. Okay, so what are the risk factors? When considering the risk factors, one can have a family history of it. Next is the genetical defects in enzymes like HPRT or HGPRT due to the renal diseases, obesity. Next is the gender. In cases of men are having more risk than the women. We can consider the dyslipidemia, where we can see that the higher level of those lipids in specific those lower density lipoproteins and the medium density lipoproteins. Here in this case again glucose intolerance, hypertension, diet, alcohol consumption and the medications. So these are all the risk factors which could worsen the condition in cases of gout. What will be the treatment goals in cases of gout? Here the first goal, that is to relieve the pain and the inflammation. It means symptomatic relief. And next one, that is to terminate the acute attacks of the gout and to restore the normal functions to the affected joints. Here in these cases certain other therapies which can be even provided, where it includes general therapeutic principles where the affected joint should be immobilized. Next is certain anti-inflammatory drug therapy, which includes the certain medicaments like NSAIDs, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and the colchicine with the corticosteroids, and it will be provided generally immediately for the maximal therapeutic effectiveness. And these drugs should be kept on hand so that the patient may begin therapy as soon as subsequent attack begins. There are certain drugs which could lower the urate concentration or the level of the urate after the acute attacks, and for that it may prolong the attacks by the causing a change in uric acid equilibrium, where it may generally requires 1 to 2 weeks after the resolution of the attack. And other than this, we can consider certain causes that what I have not included in PPT. In this case, first cause, as we know that the production and the excretion of uric acid. So this is the first cause behind the development of gout. In this case, excretion depends on the renal cavity or through the renal system or through the kidneys. If person is suffering from chronic renal failure, in that case he or she may develop uricemia. Next, that is the production. In cases of production, mostly it involves the genetic defects with HGPRT or HPRT. Other than this, even there are certain other conditions like we can consider the hyperuricemia, where in 90% cases the kidney failure as well as the overproduction of the purine nucleotides. and it may happen that it may be inborn error. Second, we can consider the lifestyle, where person may have a high consumption of alcohol, fructose, the drinks which is sweetened, next is the meat and the seafood. It can impair or may causes the overproduction of uric acid. And while considering the alcohol, it generally interferes with the excretion of uric acid. Third one, that is the family history, as I stated earlier. Next is certain medical conditions, like where a person is suffering from obesity, hypertension. Next is the insulin resistance and the abnormal level of the lead, and the chronic lead exposure can cause hyperuricemia. Other than this, we can consider the overweight, right, that comes under the obesity. Next, we can consider the trauma or the irritation, where it may be because of the, we can say that due to the injury to this specific portion or the region, and it may happen the person may have or may suffered with a kind of disorders, where it's like Harberdon nod, again a kind of disease, where the person may have a already diseased joint, right. Again, a person may have a osteoarthritis in fingers or any other portions of the joints. It can causes the, or it increases the pain and swelling, right. So these are all, or it can act as a causes for the development of gout. In cases of treatment, I have already mentioned, in cases of treatment or the management, one can have a even prophylaxis. Here prophylaxis treatment can be given to the patient in order to reduce the future occurrence of disease. Remember this word prophylaxis, where we mean to retard the occurrence of disease in future, just like vaccines, right. And for that prophylaxis, one can go with the uricosuric agents. Again, these uricosuric agents which can help to excrete more amount of the uric acid, and the drugs like probenecid can be used. So this is all about the gout, right. We have started with the introduction of gout. As we know that gout is a form of inflammatory arthritis and characterized by the high level of the uric acid in the blood. Next, we have gone through the types of it, where we have discussed primary gout with secondary drug, the gout, as well as there are other certain forms, like we can consider asymptomatic hyperuricemia, acute gout, interval gout, chronic gout, pseudo gout, right. Next, the diagnosis techniques, sign and symptoms, the pathophysiology, where there are specific two pathways where it involves the leukocytes, right, with involving the process of phagocytosis, as well as the neutrophil attractants, that is neutrophil chemoattractants, which further causes the degradation of the complete neutrophil cells, releasing lysosomal component of it, causing or to deteriorate the normal healthy cells or the environment of the joint. And at last, the treatment goals. In cases of treatment, we can consider NSAIDs, which can helps to retard the symptoms, or it can give the relief from the pain and the inflammation. So this is all about from the gout. Thank you very much.